Hey guys, it's Lee from Andertons here, and it's NAMM 2016. I'm on the Taylor booth, and I'm joined by Mark Seal, who's one of the product specialists for Taylor guitars. So, Mark, tell me what's going to be new from Taylor in 2016, please.
2016 is a great year for us. We're all about 12 strings this year and 12 fret guitars. And into that, we've also revamped our 300 series a little bit.
Yep.
And our 500 series, we did a complete revoicing of the guitars, similar to what we did on the 600, 800, and 9 series last couple of years. So Mahogany got a lot of love this year.
Cool. So, what have you got here then?
Well, for our 12 strings, one of the goals was we wanted to make a guitar that was accessible to everybody. I do a lot of road shows out in the world for Taylor, and we've decided that last year we took the 150 on the road with us.
Yep.
Dreadnought's 12 string. Played fantastic. Every single night on the road we sold them. So we realized people maybe don't have enough 12 strings out in the marketplace that they really love. So Andy wanted to make the guitars to be accessible to people that play 6 string, maybe even play electric guitars, because traditionally we get a little bit overwhelmed or maybe even slightly intimidated by a big 12 string guitar. The tuning, the action, they're cumbersome often. So we came out with this, our Grand Concerts, our smallest body shape in a 12th fret version. Yeah, isn't that brilliant?
It's cool.
So yeah, it means the neck joins the body at the 12th fret, which makes everything a little bit closer, a little bit more comfortable. And we also move the bridge to a little bit more into the lower bout, which gives us a little more bass, a little more warmth. So having this small package of a 12 string, it's something that plays like a Taylor because of our neck construction. But when you hear it, check this out.
And this is what, a mahogany top?
It's a mahogany top, back and sides.
So it's kind of what, sort of 320 type series, but in a gloss finish, or is
more
it
of a 500 series?
More 500.
Yeah, we're doing the 500 thing. But did you notice the balance and the warmth out of it? You would think a small 12 string might be a little bit, might be a little brighter thin. And I think where everybody's really pleasantly surprised is this is a guitar that sits well in a mix. It plays well with others, but even standalone by itself, it's just got a very full voice, so almost counterintuitively. So we're really proud of this guitar, and quite honestly, this is the guitar all week long I've been playing, but I can't get out of my hands. So
I like fan. I think that we're one of the fundamental design elements of Taylor guitars, the sort of the bolt-on neck that eliminates that kind of hump that you traditionally get where the neck meets the body, and you get that, Taylor have that kind of well-known killer action. And of course on a 12 string that almost becomes like doubly good again. So you know it's not like some of those old vintage 12 strings where you play and there's like this much gap between them.
That's right.
So
well, it's a combination of not only the action is low, but the intonation is exceptional. And because it's so built, so sturdy, they don't go out of tune at all. I mean, this hasn't been tuned since this morning. We've been doing videos all day, and it still sounds fantastic. The other thing we did that's kind of cool is on the other side of the coin from this, there are those guys that still want that big 12 string. So what we did is we took our 800 series, our biggest body, the Orchestra, and Andy went in and designed that to be a 12 string with the bracing and the voicing and all that stuff. So he brought out the 858E, which is our biggest 12 string. Again though, it plays like this guitar. The action is low, the intonation is fantastic. But when you dig into that guitar, it is a cannon. It's the guitar that I say, if you want to dominate the musical conversation in a very positive way, that guitar will take everything you give to it. So it's really fantastic.
Do you want to just go over some of the changes that Andy made to 500 series? Because if you're not familiar, Andy Powers, who's the master builder at Taylor, has been redesigning all the series of guitars, hasn't he? And really looking at super fine detail about thickness of timbers, bracing, lacquers, everything. So rather than having the same approach to building all the guitars, regardless of which series they're from, every single series is tailored to make it, acoustically as best it can be. So I hadn't realized you'd done the 500 series as well. So what's some of the main things that he's changed on this?
Okay. So you're very, very versed in our culture and literature. That's awesome. So it's refreshing to hear that. What we did for the 500 series this year, he did the same approach to the 600 and the 800s, where he went through and he voiced every guitar to be wood and body specific, or shape specific. And as a result, each guitar became more of what it was intended to be, I think is the direct effect. A little bit warmer. It's kind of a modern meets vintage guitar. They look and sound great, but the really interesting thing we did this year, we added Lutz spruce to the top woods.
Spruce.
Lutz, L-U-T.
Oh, sorry.
Lutz
spruce. Kind of spruce, okay.
Yeah, and what it is, it's a great story because spruce, we use a lot of Sitka spruce, and that's found in Alaska on the coast where it's a little colder, a little warmer, but a little bit wetter. The Engelmann spruce found up in the hills, it's a little drier and a little colder.
Okay.
Lutz is a naturally occurring hybrid where the two have kind of crossed paths in between the two regions. And as a result, it's got kind of the strength of Sitka, and it's got all the sparkle of Engelmann, but it almost has a little more horsepower like Adirondack. And he started working with it, he fell in love with it. He was talking about how it reminded him of some of the instruments he had found with Adirondack that were from the 20s and 30s. So it's a little more powerhouse, and we feature that on our this guitar down here, our 510, which we can showcase that. And,
maybe that's a super smooth opportunity to go over to.
Let me grab that for you. So this guitar is really cool in that it's got the Lutz spruce like we talked about. But we did on this Dreadnought make it a little more of a powerhouse. We did a shorter scale length neck on it, so we're at 24 7/8.
Okay.
We have a V carve, so a little different feel. Some people love the V, so we threw it on this guitar. It's got the slotted peg head. It does feature the Lutz and the mahogany, and it's just a. Isn't that great? You dig it? It's just got a great feel to it. So this has been kind of one of our proud offerings that people are really falling in love with as well this year.
I mean, I know all the brands are always terribly sensitive not to sort of mention too many other brands and stuff like that, but I totally see, this is a kind of a hats off, isn't it, to another very famous Dreadnought. I love the slots. I love the idea of the V-shape kind of profile. That's a killer looking Dreadnought guitar.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? To play too.
I think most people, when they naturally think of Taylors, they think of the 12 or the 14 kind of series, and it's fair to say that some of your competitors are perhaps better known for making the Dreadnought-shaped guitars.
But we love Dreads. We have no problem with that. That's we didn't invent that.
That's a great guitar.
Know it. Check this out. This is pretty cool. So a little segue into our 300 series. As you well know, they're very popular for us. We've done well with them over the years. This year, what Andy did that's really cool is he found a great pairing of Tasmanian Blackwood with the mahogany top. And it just gives us a really dynamic sound out of the guitar. It's a little more powerful too. And in this particular one, we have our 322E 12th fret. So this is our 12th fret in the 300 series with the Tasmanian Blackwood and the mahogany top. And this is just a cool guitar. I mean, by bringing that bridge down, again, we add warmth, but also the wood combination brings warmth. We've expanded our 12th fret line to have more 12 frets available than we've ever had in the past. And people just seem to be falling in love with these guitars. I'm out on the road constantly.
Is this more of a picker's guitar, do you think, and then a strummer's guitar?
Yeah, a lot of fingerstyle stuff on there is going to sound great. It's got that real relaxed feel, but interestingly enough, with the 12th fret and that being a little in the lower bout down there, pretty warm with a flat pick, right?
I've always liked, I kind of think, as I've become more familiar with just acoustic guitar design over the years, I think a lot of a lot of new people to acoustics will just think that bigger is better, and the Dreadnought is the kind of the one that sort of covers all the bases, and the smaller ones, although they perhaps don't deliver the power, they just have these incredibly balanced sort of tonal ranges, don't they? And particularly for sort of finger picking, and I forget who it was that told me, it was definitely someone at Taylor, but who said, that the idea of the smaller top just means the strings don't have to be vibrating quite so hard to get the actual wood to move. Yeah. So with a sort of a softer picking technique, you can actually achieve kind of more definition and sort of power.
The argument that's cool on this is this guitar is arguably the loudest guitar in our line with the least amount of energy. Now what that means is, I'm not saying it's the loudest when we dig into it, because it's going to have a volume ceiling, but the lightest touch. I'm not digging in very hard at all, and it's very balanced output. And so fingerstyle players love these guitars, but I think what people are starting to realize, and we see this doing road shows, is we get these guitars in people's hands, like, I love this, I don't even know why I love it, and it's this intimate, this guitar you cradle, you fall in love with it.
This is the one, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, you're sitting on the sofa, your girlfriend's just left you.
You write your hits on this song.
That's the one, isn't it? That's the one.
Absolutely, but the other cool part of that is in a band situation, there's a lot of other instrumentation. A little bit smaller footprint, lighter, more comfortable to play if you're playing long gigs, or you just want to fit into a mix where you're not too much bass heavy on a guitar. My last 2 Taylors I bought have both been 12 fret guitars, and I use them live exclusively now.
Any changes to the electronics in Taylor this year?
Well, we feature the ES2 now, which we came out with last year. That's now across the line.
So it's everything's now
ES2, and it's been a huge success for us. People love it. It's just so It's so true.
Do you want to just do the 30-second rundown of why ES2 is different
absolutely.
to the original one?
Yeah, the ES2, we discovered that if we took the piezo pickups, not from being below the saddle where they were being crushed, we've placed them behind the saddle with screws that put the exact amount of pressure that's kind of necessary to achieve the optimal sound.
Yeah.
So by doing that, this guitar ends up sounding much more live, has much more of a live feel to it, microphonic really.
Yeah.
And it picks up the characteristics of the actual guitar that you're playing. So it's been wildly successful for us, and it's simple. It's just plug and play and sounds great.
Absolutely.
And our line levels are up too, which means if you go on stage after somebody else that's got a pretty loud guitar, you're going to walk in and you're going to have even slightly, maybe a little bit more power. So it's pretty cool. And the controls are very simple, just volume, bass, and treble. Yeah. And you can control all of your EQs, including your mid-range, by simply adjusting the lows and the highs. It's really, really clever.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So to sum up then, what should people see? They should go check out the 500 series, which has been completely redesigned, the new 12 strings.
Yeah, I'd say 12 strings, 12 frets, 300 and 500 series.
Awesome.
All of them, they're all
cool,
fantastic.
Man. So I'll put links in the description below to all the guitars that we've covered, so you guys can find out more. But if you want to visit Andertons, www.andertons.co.uk, you can check out all the acoustics we sell and check out all the coverage that we've got from the NAMM show team. See you later.